Hello and thank you for watching. I'm Jennifer Bowman with Olympia Piano, and this is video 21 of the 24-day overview of Schumann's Traumerei. And in today's video, we're going to cover measure 21 through beat 2 of measure 22. Let's jump right into the voicing. Straightforward voicing here. Top voice, stems up. We've seen this before, our melody. And then this one goes up to the A. Voice 2 in the right hand, a quarter rest is shown, then the harmonic voice, 2 voices here, and similarly in measure 22, quarter rest followed by a 3-note lower right hand chord. Left hand stems up. We've seen this before, the quarter note with the stem up that's kind of sharing that low whole note that happens to be tied. Hopping up to C and A, harmony that goes with that. And then in measure 22, it looks as if the top voice and the bottom voice all merge together on beat 2. We just have one voice with the stems going up for that half note with the dot. 3 notes there. And then in measure 21, the lowest voice is the whole note with the tie, tied to measure 22. And I'm going to interpret that as all merging together on beat 2 for the lower voices, going up to the G. Harmonically speaking, we've had this before, all in the key of F. All these notes are F notes except for the E. Now, on beat 2, we've got this huge spread out chord, G, B, B, F, G, D, A. So I'm going to consolidate that, get rid of that G and B, put this up here, get rid of this G and put this D, A. That leaves us with a G9. So that is a chord that's not in our key because the G chord in F major would be a minor chord. So this is a secondary dominant, 5 of 5. So this G9, the secondary dominant, is an unexpected chord we haven't heard before. The fingering is just the same as it was for measure 5. Basically, you have a couple choices in the right hand after this chord. You can do 3, 4, 1, 2, 5, or 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, whatever suits your hand. But the big thing is the next chord, how to play it. So the fingering for measure 22, if you can reach it, 5, 4, 1. In the right hand, you're going to play this F and G together. 1, and then D, 2, and then 5. All right. Now I realize not everyone can reach that chord, so I'm going to just show you 2 other ways you can do it and 2 other ways that I don't necessarily recommend, but I've heard. Most commonly heard is just making this G a grace note. So you would do grace note, pop up, play an octave. So the timing would be kind of like we had. It's kind of the same thing. Option number 2 might work well if you can't play this with your thumb, if that's too much of a stretch for you. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put 5, 3, or 5, 4. That's going to be the grace note. And then you're going to pop all the way up here and play the B, F, and G with the left hand, like that. So that would look like this. Holding this, play this like a grace note. So that's manageable for most people who can't reach more than an octave. And that sounds very beautiful. So those first 2 are my recommended options. Now I'm going to show you 2 more options that I've seen or heard that maybe wouldn't be my top recommendation. The first one is a roll, and you will see this in certain editions. And I guess you could vary the speed on. The other thing that I have heard are some artists take the notes of this chord and put them in different octaves. Personally, I feel like that's okay for orchestral reductions where the piano's playing music that an orchestra might be playing, or pop music where you can move the notes around. But in this I think there's other ways that you can do it, and I don't think you should do it necessarily here. But I have heard this. Grace note and then, or grace note, so putting the F down there. I would still stick with the big one if you can fit it. You can either do 3 or 4 based on the size of your hand. Grace note G, or grace note B and G, then playing just D and G in the right hand. Pedaling is going to be similar to what we had before. We could have pedal, 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 and then you're going to hold that till we get the grace note or the chord or whatever. So we can pedal right on it, or we can pedal with the notes that are going to act as grace notes. Pedal, hold the A while we catch that grace note, or so now I'm going to kind of combine dynamics and pacing. I'm going to give you 2 interpretations just to get you started for measures 21 and 22. The first one is going to lead to the chord on beat 2, and the second one is going to have the chord on beat 2 quite a bit softer. The common theme is going to be that beat 2 is generally played quite late and also held for quite a long time. So option 1, I'll play it 2 ways so you hear it with the grace note and without. First will be no grace note. For a long time, and then listen to that decay. I know we didn't go over those notes. Now, same thing with the grace note so you can hear the timing. Listening to that decay. Now, option 2, play the chord suddenly soft. Now here's that same interpretation with the grace note on the bottom. It's my hope that you can use those dynamics and pacing ideas as a starting point for your artistic vision. That's the end of today's lesson, so I will see you in the next video. As always, I appreciate your support. Please let me know where you're from. Thank you for watching.